Call Elohim Yahweh, Bahasham Hamashak Yahushai, Bahasham Kakudash. This is your fellow servant Tazawari with another lesson. First, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone whom rule well, and from whom we learn this truth. Shalom to you, Akim, who are not in GMS, but are pushing likewise doctrine in spirit and in truth with all sincerity. To you few sisters that are listening and learning, as well as you speckled birds, which are scattered among the nations, looking like those nations. To the 144,000 elect, and the rest of the hopeful elect, to you I say, Shalom. This video is, I won't call it a response, let's call it an ad-lib, right? To a video that, Apostle Tahar and Elder Manat Tazakba. So Elder Manat Tazakba did a video and Apostle Tahar responded to it. And this is just my little ad-lib, my 2 cents, right? At any rate, it was about, the apostles were speaking on images, all right, that the brothers, some Akim had put up. And you've heard the proverb in the world, a picture says 1,000 words, right? And we know through experience and through our journeys here and our awakening out of sleep, right? Coming out of, our deep slumber here in the matrix, all right? In this system, right? Babylon the Great. That imagery is one of the key weapons that's used by the enemy. Okay? And images can be used for sorcery. They can be used for good or bad. Obviously, sorcery is wicked, right? So the imagery that our enemy uses is sorcery. Okay? They use them to condition the minds of the people, the masses. Okay? In particular, our nation, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? So-called Negroes. That includes the West Indians and the Haitians. Okay? Now, an example of that in the world would be the image of the so-called black woman, right? Strong, independent woman, and usually she's scantily clad, full of pride, got a lot of things to say, very uncomely verbiage, right? And as a result of that, black women have followed that that image and that stereotype. They've taken that on and accepted it, and many of our women, move in such manner, dress in such manner, and they speak with speech that should be shameful for a woman. All right, and they carry themselves in a very low regard. But this is not for that topic, that talking point. The point is about imagery. And as the apostles were going into, there was a couple images. One had, where the brother had like a super crisp lineup, right? I mean, you could tell like it was hit with razor, right? And this is all CGI or AI, digital imaging, digitally generated imaging, right? And there was another one where, it had the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, sitting on his, or who was a picture that was supposed to represent Yahweh, right? Sitting on his throne, but he had long hair and it was in locks. And there was some other things that they talked about, um, the 6-pointed star and things like that. So Akim and Akwath, it's our job to be diligent, as diligent as we can be, about researching things. Okay, the apostle, the apostles. All right, I've heard both Apostle Tahar and Apostle Gabar and Apostle Ramlab too. I believe I've heard all three of them say, "Trust but verify." In a roundabout way. Roughly paraphrased, and that's what we're called to do. All right. Even Elder Yashawamba speaks on, he doesn't use those words, but he strongly promotes, those that are among the body and, taking hold of faith to do their diligence and research. All right. And of course, as men of the Lord, esteemed men of the Lord, or men that desire to be counted amongst the elect, all right, who desire to be teachers, our job is to plant seeds, mostly, right? Yeah, we're supposed to give breakdowns, provide history, and give proof, but those are all seeds that are planted, all right, that serve as a stepping stone, all right, a building block, all right, for the house of our nation, okay, for the church, for the body. All right, so let's not forget that these seeds that we push for the edification of the body, make no mistake, they're building blocks. All right, the scriptures speak of a chief cornerstone, right? Yahweh Shai being our chief cornerstone, right? And even Peter, right? That name Peter, right? Petra goes into stone, right? And he is the stone that that the church would be built upon, right? So again, in edification, that goes into building. The word edification goes into building. So we are here to lay the stones, but each member of the body or person who aspires to be a member of the body, they have to hone their own craft to be able to come and build, with the rest of the laborers. Okay? And that means you're going to have to put in some time of research, So let me grab Proverbs, right? 25th chapter, and let's just start at 1, all right? These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. All right. Now, Solomon was the wisest man to ever walk the earth. Okay. And we know that he is an earlier incarnation of the Messiah himself. All right. If you can receive that, that's been touched on it in a previous lesson. So you can go back through the video library and find videos where brothers have spoken on that. All right. But this is the point. Verse 2. It is the glory of Yahweh to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. All right. And that's how we should be moving. We should be searching out the matters. Whatever issue, not even issue, whatever the talking point is, whatever, talking point. We have to search those things out. Whether it be the mysteries that the scripts hold, all right, because they're not revealed to just any and everybody. And make no mistake, the scriptures are written in code. All right, you just can't read, our scrolls like a storybook, like no Dr. Seuss book, and think you're gonna get it. All right, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. It ain't that easy. You're gonna have to put some labor in. All right, now, we know that every man's given his measure of spirit, and that'll dictate ultimately your rank, all right, for lack of a better word. But, that'll dictate what gifts you are given and what you can bring to the body, what you can add to the body. But we have to be very cognizant of things that we're putting out. Okay, images, statements, breakdowns. And the breakdowns, usually the body does a pretty good job of monitoring those. Like if a brother go off, correction videos are made. Usually though, people that go off seem to be from, other camps more times than not. And here it is, you have the men of GMS who make correction videos or rebuke videos or whatever's needed, whatever's necessary for the body, for the edification of the body. Okay? And we try to do that to the best of our ability with wisdom. All right? But again, search some things out before you just put it up, man. You got to be careful is not the word I want to use. You got to be beyond careful. All right? Word escapes me right now, but our level of discernment has to be high. Okay, because we should always be thinking about how the flock may receive a message. Okay, or how they may, I don't want to say interpret, because the scriptures speak of there's no private interpretation. But we absolutely have to be cognizant of, the information and the energy that we pushing out. All right, because let's not forget, brothers and sisters are coming from all different walks of life, man. Meaning, brothers and sisters may have different demons on them, different struggles. All right. What that means in short is we got individuals with the desire, all right, to enter into the camp, or not the camp, to enter into the congregation, right? To enter into the faith, to be amongst the body, all right? And you could be amongst the body of believers, all right, like the sisters, like the females, but we have, again, remember that there's a possibility for all different types of folly, depending on what our struggles were in the world. All right. And a lot of those strong men that have taken hold of brothers and sisters, it take a little time, all right, to kind of break through those strong men. All right. Anyway, it is the glory of verse 2, Salakia. Proverbs 25:2 is the point. It is the glory of Yahweh to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. And this is for, the argument that's out there pushing information, and who aspire to be teachers, who aspire to be apostles, who are laboring, all right, with whatever measure that Yahweh has given you. You got to search these things out to make sure that when you bring it forth to the body, that you come correct, man. That your sacrifice may be acceptable, fully acceptable before the Lord. All right, because we also have many examples of the Lord taking the oil and the wisdom from men that we've seen, in times past. They may have sound doctrine, but then they go off, right? So we don't want to be lumped in with that bunch. Now, ultimately, we know all of that is the will of Yahweh, but to the best of our ability, all right? Again, we want to make sure our sacrifice is, if we can help it, wholly acceptable to the best of our ability, right? Let's not be as never mind. Ecclesiastes, right? This is still Solomon, right? Ecclesiastes 1. And 12. 13 is the point. I, the preacher, right, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. What did I read to you before? Right, is the honor of kings to search out a matter. Right, I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom. All right, to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are under heaven. All right. Now, of course, we don't have the sovereignty of kings on this side, right? Some brothers may be self-employed or whatever, and have a little more, free time than others. But a lot of brothers got to go punch the clock, right? But again, it was his. He gave his heart. It says in 13. It says, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom, and he conducted his searchings according to wisdom. All right, concerning all things that are under heaven. All right. Now I know what y'all thinking. Those of you that have a little have studied a bit. Didn't Solomon go off? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But Solomon wrote this as a young man. Right here. Okay. And we know that when he did go off, it was in his later years. It was in his later years that Solomon went off. All right. Reading on. This sore travail hath Yahweh given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. All right? To be exercised therewith. That means we have to exercise this thing. We have to exercise our searching muscles, that brain. You got to exercise your method of research, man. Learning how to research properly. You know, again, check and verify. Now that may be a little more difficult today because, you know, online things are like fact checked and all this other stuff. So if you can get your hands on hard copy books or things like that, that may not be outside of your price range, then those are good tools to have. All right. But you can also, you know, tap in and ask, you know, brothers or the apostles or whoever, you know, drop a message on what sources they're using, what resources they're using. Okay. Let's read this in the NLT. It says, Ecclesiastes 1 and 13, I devoted myself to search for understanding and to explore by wisdom everything done under heaven. I soon discovered that Yahweh has dealt a tragic existence to the human race. Right? But the top part of that verse is the point. All right? So, because let's not forget, if you're teaching, if you're trying to labor, right? We held accountable for the things that we feed the flock, man. It's a very important point. Let's get one more and I'm going to close it out. This is a short one. Let's grab Job 8. Right, this is Job 8. It said, and it reads, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. All right, to the search of their fathers. In the NLT, previous generation, right? Asking the previous generation, well, we have the benefit, right, of having men that are here among us still, right, fully gray, with wisdom. All right, and the men directly under them. So we have the apostles, and then we have elders. And those two groups of men are, you know, older than a lot of the newer guys coming in. Even if they're not chronologically, they're older in faith. All right, they're older and more mature in experience. All right, they're older, more experienced, and more mature in wisdom. and the application thereof, you know, to this life. And we have that benefit, all right? And if you go back and you look and you look at the core of our apostles' teachings, right? The foundation of our ministry, okay, as far as the breakdowns and the history and all, as all those things are concerned, our apostles have not deviated like many other men. All right, y'all know who I'm talking about, who have changed their doctrine along the way, like IUIC, like One Body. All right, like what's this guy's name? Captain Tazariot. All right, and there's Bubble Eyes, GOCC. I can't think of that guy's name. Rakah, I think is his name. Right. So we see that these men, at some point in their ministry, taught one way, and maybe 10, 15 years later, or even now currently, they're teaching totally contrary to the original ministry that they started out with, where our elders and apostles have held true to form. And they've presented the receipts. That goes back to that trust but verify. This goes into the searching out. They've done a lot of the legwork. So we are entering into their labors. But if you have to compare, right, for your soul's sake, which I recommend you do, I'll read it in the NLT. Job 8:8. Just as the previous generation, pay attention to the experience of our ancestors. Okay? Because the elders and apostles, they tell you, hey, stick to the scripts, man. You can't go wrong if you do that. Right? We have a plethora of men in these pages that we can model ourselves after. And then we have a few here on earth still with us today, which is a beautiful thing. Job 8:8 again, I'm going to close. KJV, left side of the page. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. Right? So, just like our elders have done, they've prepared the search to their fathers. And all of our fathers are in the scriptures, man. All right. With that, I pray this lesson find you well. I hope it was edifying. I pray that it be edifying. May the blessing of election be upon your households. Till next time, shalom.